Hi, I'm Yasmin Fernandes and I welcome you to my world of cooking in What's Cooking Man? To choose your subtitles, go to the upper right hand corner to the setting button and switch on the captions and choose your language. Hi everyone, today we are going to make everyone's favorite pizza. It's loved by everybody. Let's get on with the ingredients. I've taken 6 cups of maida, which is all-purpose flour. I'll be adding to that around 1.5 teaspoons of salt, warm water, 3 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of mixed herbs, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1.5 tablespoon of active instant yeast and some oil. Now let's knead the dough. Make a well in the center and then first add in the yeast. It's active instant yeast. Add in the sugar, the salt at the side and also add in the mixed herbs. This gives a very good flavor to the dough. Now we will add warm water a little at a time and I'll tell you all finally how much water I have used. So let's add the water and now start binding the dough. Add the water a little at a time. At this stage also add in the butter and mix the butter well with the flour. Totally we'll be using around almost 3 cups of water. We need the dough to be slightly soft and sticky. Let's take the dough on the mat and massage it well for at least 10 to 15 minutes. Stretch and then pull back the dough. This is how you will massage the dough. You will stretch it and then pull it back. Now, once you have massaged it for 10 to 15 minutes, take a little oil and put some in the glass bowl where you will be keeping your dough and also apply some to the dough itself. Just a little, just barely a teaspoon. Tuck in the dough and then put it in the bowl and allow it to double in size. I'll be covering the dough with a damp cloth and then we will be putting it in a warm place. I'm going to put my dough in the micro till it doubles in size. This should take about an hour. So I'll see you all after an hour. Let's now prepare the pizza sauce. I've taken 4 large blended tomatoes. Also, we will need 2 onions medium size which have also been blended. And in the spices, I have taken 2 teaspoons of pizza seasoning, quarter teaspoon of oregano, quarter teaspoon of basil, half a teaspoon of chili flakes, half a teaspoon of chili powder and 1 teaspoon of sugar, 4 tablespoons of ketchup, salt to taste, and out of all this butter I'll be using just 2 tablespoons and 10 flakes of garlic which have been finely chopped. Also we will require a slice of cheese. Let's get started. In a pan I've added 2 tablespoons of butter and once the butter melts nicely, we will then add in the garlic flakes. Also I will add a little oil before that so that the butter does not burn. Now the butter has melted and let's add in the garlic flakes. Give that a nice stir and saute the garlic just for a minute or two. We do not need the garlic to be brown, we just need to saute it. So after a minute or two, we will now add in the onions, the 2 onions which have been finely chopped and blended. Now saute these onions well till they turn translucent. We need the onions only to turn translucent, and this will take about 2 to 3 minutes. So keep stirring and sauteing. Now, at this stage, we also need to add some salt. So add salt to taste. I've added about a little more than a teaspoon. Keep sauteing nicely till the onions turn translucent. Now, once the onions have turned translucent, it will be time to add the pureed tomatoes. The 4 large tomatoes which have been blended are now being added to the pan, and we will now saute the tomatoes really well with the onions. This will take about at least 4 to 5 minutes, but to make this process go faster and make it easier, we will now cover the pan and allow the tomatoes to soften for at least 5 minutes. Please stir in between once or twice. It's been 5 minutes now, and we will give our tomatoes a good stir. We are almost getting there, but the tomatoes still need to cook a little more. So once again, I will cover the pan and leave it for another 2 to 3 minutes. There, our tomatoes are now ready, and we will now add in the 4 tablespoons of ketchup. This gives a very good flavor to our sauce and also adds to the color of the sauce. There, isn't the color really beautiful and nice? So give that a good stir and allow it to simmer for around 2 to 3 minutes at least, after which you can add in all the spices and herbs which were mentioned. Saute that well and allow the sauce to cook for a while. We will also add in a little water, say about half a cup, but little at a time, and stir the sauce well. Now let's cover the pan and allow the sauce to cook for at least 5 to 6 minutes. Our sauce is now almost ready, but for the final touch, to give it that extra lovely taste, we are going to add in a cheese slice. Now stir in the cheese and allow the cheese to melt really nicely. And once the cheese has melted, our sauce is now almost ready. There, all the cheese has melted. Our sauce is now ready. We will keep it aside and allow it to cool. And now we shall get on with the other process for the pizza. It's been an hour now and our dough has risen really well. Can you see? It's almost more than doubled in size. So let's punch down the dough slowly and nicely and bring it together. Can you see how well it has risen? Our pizza is going to turn out marvelous. So bring the dough together in the bowl and then sprinkle some maida on the mat and put the dough now onto the mat. Massage the dough for about 2 to 3 minutes. Apply a little flour on top also and just give it a nice massage just for about 2 to 3 minutes. There, our dough is now ready and we will now cut portions of the dough. We will now divide our dough into 4 parts. This amount of dough is going to give us 4 regular pizzas. I'll be making 2 round and 2 rectangular pizzas. Now, take one portion and tuck in the dough nicely and keep it aside in a plate. We will be doing this for all the 4 balls of dough. Once you have kept them in a plate, cover them again with a cloth and leave them aside for about half an hour. There, can you see? The dough has now risen again. Butter the plate nicely in which you are going to prepare the pizza. And once you have buttered the dish, we will now roll out the first pizza. So, take one ball of dough nicely, just massage it a bit, and then put some maida on your mat. Put your dough onto the mat, and then with the help of a rolling pin, we will roll out our pizza. Our dough is really soft and lovely. Our pizza is going to turn out fantastic. So, roll out the dough to the size of your dish. First, we are going to make a round pizza. So, roll out the dough nicely like a chapati, but not as thin as a chapati, medium sized. It should just be slightly thick, that's all. Now, once you've rolled out the dough, lift it gently and then place it in the dish on which you had applied a little butter. Place it and then spread it out in the dish. See that all the corners are well covered. There, just with your thumb, just press down the sides, and there, our base is now ready. Now, to this base, we will now apply just a little butter. Just take some butter on the brush and just apply it to the dough. This will give a very good flavor to our dough. When it bakes, the bread will be fantastic. Once you have applied the butter, then take a fork and just prick the dough slightly so that it doesn't rise too much when you're baking it. Having done that, we will now go ahead with the fillings. Let me take you all through the ingredients for the filling. I've cut some onions into rings. Also, capsicum also has been cut into rings. We have taken different types of seasoning. We have used different types of cheese as well. The seasoning which I have used is pizza seasoning, basil, oregano, chili flakes. And the cheese also is of three types. I've used processed cheese, I've used mozzarella, and I've used our Indian pizza cheese as well. I've also butter fried some sausages that will add a good flavor for the non-veg pizza. You can even use olives, pepperoni, tandoori chicken, corn, paneer. There are so many toppings, so please go with the type of toppings that you enjoy on your pizza. I'm going to make a very simple and basic pizza. Now, let's take some sauce and spread it onto the pizza. Our sauce has also cooled really well, and just take a small amount and spread it nicely all over the pizza. Now, once you have done that, then we will put in the capsicum rings, the onion rings, and we will also grate a generous amount of cheese. Again, the cheese is up to you, more or less. But I like a lot of cheese on my pizza, so I am going to grate in quite a bit of cheese. I am going to use a little of each cheese. That is the mozzarella, the processed, and our Indian pizza cheese. Now we will sprinkle a little amount of all the herbs which I had mentioned, that is pizza seasoning, basil, oregano, and also we will put in a nice amount of chili flakes. All these herbs really give a good flavor to the pizza. I've kept my oven to preheat at 200 degrees Celsius for about 15 minutes. Our pizza is now ready to go into the oven, and we will bake the pizza till it turns a nice golden brown. This should take about 20 to 25 minutes, or it depends on your oven. There, our veg pizza is ready. The whole house is filled with the aroma. Now let's get on with the non-veg one. Again, the toppings will be capsicum, onions, and a generous amount of butter-fried sausages. Like I told you, the toppings are entirely up to you. You can use whatever toppings you like. Now, once you have put all the toppings of your choice, then grate a generous amount of cheese, of course, and put in a few more sausages on top as well. As few or as many as you like. And again, grate a little more cheese on top. A lot of cheese tastes really good on a pizza. Now let's put the pizza to bake again at 200 degrees Celsius for about 20 to 25 minutes, or depending on your oven, but the pizza has to turn a nice golden brown on the edges. I hope you all have enjoyed this recipe, so do like, share, subscribe, press the bell icon, and the subscription as always is free. Thank you for watching.